Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I was cycling. This is Let's Play Training Simulator. But other than the fact that you can see I've already completed the scenario I'm actually playing today, and I'm going to explain that in a second, I'm a little more concerned about this. A silver star is only 978. Are you serious? It looks like these scenarios are set for 1,000 being a gold star, and I actually confirmed that by looking at the solution at the end screen for this scenario. While I'm not going to try to cause that situation on this actual playthrough, we might get a chance to see it because I've already got my 1,000 score, and technically I don't care. But let me explain what happened here. I started playing the Wentloog to Southampton scenario. I wanted to do it blind because I figured this is going to be an easy scenario, and it is. But then I came to realize as I went to review the recording, I had something over my screen the entire time, and if you saw the ending of this video where I had the little Word document up, basically you would have seen the Word document for about an hour. So that would not have done any good. You were going to be talking over a Word document for an hour. You would have seen none of the videos. So basically, I have to redo this now. I completed the scenario on that pretense, and it's what I call a blooper on my side. So we're going to ignore the fact that I had that because now I've told you it exists and I've deleted that from my hard drive. So we're going to redo that today and do Wentloog to Southampton, which I now know is an easy scenario, and I'm going to show you why it is so easy. Let's get started. Welcome aboard 4051, a Freightliner container service to Southampton. Loading of the train is complete. You are ready to depart. This train is booked on a 1000 AM path. Set the train up and get going when ready. Okay, I'll do that. And there we go. So we're going to put the reverser up. We're going to do that. We're going to turn this on. By the way, you can see some of the settings down there. It looks like the air brakes are operating on this loco in some way. Some kind of operation there. We have a red signal ahead, so we can proceed at any time. Again, notice we have a train brake on this loco once again. So we can proceed at any time. There's not really a reason to because we're going to have to get up to speed anyway. And we're not going to try to gain this signal in any way because, again, there's no reason to. We're going to have a we're going to actually have a slowdown along the way waiting for this train that we're waiting for now. Let me explain what's going on here now that I've actually played this once. If we go back here, we're going to see that while we're going to start moving in a second, that probably have to put more power on, we're waiting for this guy. We're waiting for 6B68. He's going to continue ahead of us, but when we get up to the Newport area, and around this area, he's going to move to an alternate line, and he's going to continue up towards Hereford. We're going to continue on the main line towards Bristol Parkway, which is all the way over here, and we have to end right there. That's what's going to happen with our route today. So there is going to be a section where there's some yellow signals. We're not too concerned about that right now. We're going to just move our way slowly towards the red, and we're going to get ready to make our way out as soon as the signal clears. And the briefing does mention 6B68 as well. When he's cleared your path, you can proceed to Southampton MCT, hauling loaded container flats. I'll show you those later. Expect to meet with a high-speed train at Bristol Parkway, which I know how that ends too, and I'm not going to spoil it right now. I'll leave that as a surprise for you. No, it does not end with an AI collision. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to finish, you know? Just how it works. So let's hop on top of the train. We're going to see our other train going by. Here's our Freightliner, by the way. We're driving 70026 today. Here comes the train that's moving along here, and we should have lots of room to our signals, so I'm going to go ahead and just see which train this is coming up. There's our container flats, by the way. So that's what we're driving today. Heading over here, we have this guy who we're waiting for. He is driving, it looks like 70018 is his train, and he's driving just these kind of cars. Hoppers. He's just driving some hoppers. We got the flats, he's got the hoppers. There you go. So we're waiting for him to go by. You can hear him going by now. In fact, I'll bring up the F6 so you can see he's up there. He just went by. So we're going to wait for the red signal, and once it clears, we are safe to proceed under caution. We won't be under caution for long, but we will be back under caution later, so we have to be ready for it. I'm going to go ahead and zoom up to speed just a little bit more at this point. Why not? So I put the throttle into idle. We should be getting our ability to leave in just a moment here. I don't foresee it being too much longer because the train has gone down the road here. That's another train going by the way. I don't know if we can get a look at it right now, but there it is. That's an HST. I'm ready to go. There it is. So we're going to make our way up to 15 miles per hour. I'm stopping at level 3 throttle. It goes up to level 8. So I'll show you the level 8 throttle later to show you that's how high we go. We are leaving the siding and we are on our way. Oh, I can go a little higher. So I'm going to leave it at level 2 throttle now. And cut. So if I bring up the itinerary, you see we are going to the Newport up relief for 10:13 arrival, currently aimed for 10:11. And you can actually gain a little more time on that, even with yellow signals, not much. But where we're really going to start gaining time is on the Severn Tunnel Main. We go up to 20. On Severn Tunnel Main and on Bristol Parkway up Pasture Loop. We can arrive at least 2 or 3 minutes early for that. We are going to want to gain as much time as we possibly can in the portion up to and inside the Severn Tunnel, because as soon as we start climbing the Severn Tunnel, we're going to lose some of that precious time. So we have to make sure we get as much backup time as we can to make sure we don't lose too much time coming out of the Severn Tunnel. We are still under a yellow. I believe that is still single yellow, but it could be upgraded to a double by the time we reach it. It very well might be. There it is, double yellow, so we are good to go. We are also good to go up to 60 miles per hour, so we're now at maximum throttle, level 8 throttle. Now in real life, going to level 8 throttle at this speed setting might break the throttle. It might put us into the red or something like that, which we don't want to do. But in this simulator, there's no penalty for doing it with this train, so I've gone ahead and just moved into maximum throttle to get up to speed as quickly as possible. Part of the reason for that is because career scoring, they tend to make you race like you're in a race car or something like that. So we're just going to go ahead and continue as if we were in a race car. And the previous scenario is good proof of that. Ignore the yellow and go through a signal changing red to green at 85 miles per hour. Good job. Good job. And even then you're still late. Tisk tisk. There must be a way to get that exact timing. I'm not going to try and do it on video. It's pointless. There's no reason. There's a train going by. You can hit YouTube. On YouTube, you can hit pause if you want to see what train that was. I'm not going to go back and see. Slight panic for a second because we got to the signal a little quickly, but it went from yellow to green. In about 3 or 4 minutes, I think we're going to start getting yellows as we approach Newport, and that's not a case of playing the scenario. You can just assume that's going to be the case because we're following a freight train, and that freight train is going to still be sticking out into the 60 area, so we're going to have to slow down a little bit behind it as well. Right now we're still following that train. So we can assume that that freight train is going to end up on a slower speed while we're still in the 60. And 3 signals behind it, we're going to have to slow down with it. 3 signals behind it. So I don't think we're going to quite reach 60 on this drive, because getting to Newport, we're going to have the speed limit go down a little bit before Newport at this point, I believe. If not the speed limit, then definitely the speed we can drive. So we're getting close to mile-a-minute range here. We're looking at reaching that signal in about 1 minute and 5 seconds or so at this point, I would say. That third signal. And now I'm going to literally watch the clock and see if that's what happens. So I hope you're having a good day or evening or night, whatever it is for you at your part of the world. And I'm happy to be able to bring these videos to you. So I'm glad to have you with me, so I can have some virtual company on these drives. Again, driving 70026, I believe I said we're driving today, and we are continuing to going to drive. That's another freight engine, just hauling some more stuff on it. So we're driving our way to the Bristol Parkway today. This train will continue without us to its eventual destination at Southampton. We're going to have to lower our throttle now. I'm going to cut the throttle off. We almost got to 60, but we're at a double yellow now. That means the train ahead of us is slowing down. There's nothing we can do about that. We have to lower our speed to match. So I'm going to go ahead and put the train brake on. I'm going to go ahead and bring the train brake down to, I'm going to say a 45 for now, but I'm going to have to bring it down to a 40 as well. And actually possibly even below 40 at some point. Thank you. We're still on a double yellow, so I'm going to hold it 40 at, well, where I am for now if I can. But I'm still losing speed into the 40s, so a little iffy. And now I'm under 40. That was not the plan. But it happened. There was an attempt. There was an attempt. I guess I'll stay at 40 now. It's not going to matter anyway at this stage, because we're going to be limited to that up ahead anyway. And we're probably going to have to go even slower if the train slows down on a junction. We're going to be stuck behind on that junction speed. So we'll find out. Single yellow. Yep, we're staying under a single yellow. So we are going faster than the train ahead of us. We now know that. Either that or it's a longer signal block. We have to be more cautious at this point. So I'm going to put a little more train brake on just to cover myself. That'll do. I'm okay if I continue with double yellows at this point. That is perfectly fine. I can follow those. I don't like following single yellows. So looking ahead, you can see that we indeed have a yellow aspect again. And are we really going to have double yellow when we get there? Is that what's going to happen, or is it still a single? No, it's apparently a double. Nope, just went to a double yellow, so we're going a little slower than the train ahead of us now. Again, I'm not sure if there's a 30 junction speed limit ahead that we're going to need to worry about for the other train, but we are definitely entering a 40 ourselves right now. That's the reason we had to slow down, that 40. That is definitely what we had to slow down for. Since it went to a double yellow, I am going back up to 35, but I'm going to see if we still get caught under a single yellow as we pass this signal. If we do, we need to slow down a little bit more because this is a shorter signal block. It's safe to assume we're not going to get stopped, but we have to act like we could. There's a truck going by. I mean, the train could break down. That's why the signals are there, to tell you if there's trouble ahead. So there's the yellow signal once again. We knew that was going to be a yellow signal because we had a double yellow. The question is, what kind of yellow? And as we come up to it, we're going to find out that is a double yellow. So you can speed up just a little more, I imagine, at this point. I think we can start bringing the train back up closer to 40 miles per hour, and I'm going to try and do that. See if we can succeed at that. I believe that was the Hillfield Tunnel coming up, if I remember the name correctly. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I'm going by memory. I believe it's the Hillfield Tunnel. The map might actually tell me if I can bring up the map in a second. I'm going to wait for a yellow. Upgrade to a double, please. I'd like you to upgrade to a double, if you would, please, and thank you. Nope, no double. And this is a short signal block, so I have to hit those brakes a little bit. No map yet. So the signal is red right now. I have to hold off on the throttle. The train ahead is going to be moving onto a junction track, so we have to keep that in mind as well. Brakes are on because I apparently am coming in a little too quickly. There's the yellow. We can go now. Now we have to gas it because we lost a lot of speed there. I was coming in quicker than I expected. So we're gonna juice it right now. Yes, we're under caution, but I have a feeling the train is leaving the track right now because the path it's going to follow to Hereford is up ahead. We're going into the Hillfield Tunnel, and it's going to not. There it is. It's called the Newport Tunnel apparently. I thought Google Maps says the Hillfield Tunnel, but apparently it's the Newport Tunnel. Or no, Hillfield is maybe further back. I don't know. In any case, the train that we were following is over here. It's left our track, or it's leaving our track. And we're going to have no problem proceeding past the next signal in a moment. By the time we reach it, it should be green. In fact, I think the junction just changed, so our signal is probably green right now. So zooming ahead, I can't really see much right now, so zooming back, I actually was zoomed ahead. There you go. There's the green signal. We are clear to continue at full speed. I'm back up to level 8 throttle until we get up to 40 miles per hour. We're going to try to gain some more time here. We couldn't really gain time on this segment because we were following a train, but we're going to definitely gain time on the next segment, I believe. All we have to do is keep the speed at or near 40 miles per hour. I'm going to say about 38 to 39 should be enough. But we can run it all the way at 40 if you can do it without speeding. If you hit 41, you will be speeding. I'm cutting my throttle back to level 1 right now. There's our bonus, so we're on time. I'm going to go between 1 and 2 at this time for my throttle power. We now have an estimated arrival time of 10:30 for our visit to Severn Tunnel, Maine, as we enter the Severn Tunnel. So that is where we stand right now. We're going to be 3 minutes early for that ETA. So we're already in very good shape. There is the 1B35 Manchester Piccadilly service. You can pause again on YouTube if you want to see where that's going. I didn't get a chance to see. I looked away for a moment. I'm down to 37, so I'm going to regain some speed, but I'm still gaining time, so not bad. So I'm a little distracted today. I don't normally talk about myself too much, but as I'm playing this, I have a very sore foot right now, so it's distracting my play a little bit. And it may be resulting in less than optimal results if I'm suddenly twinging in pain from foot soreness. It's something that happens once in a while. It's not something that's funny, but if you like, it definitely hurts. But I'm not too concerned about it because I haven't gotten to the point that there's pus coming out of my foot yet, or any kind of redness or soreness. Besides what I presume is some kind of a muscle strain. I think it's a muscle strain of some sort. So I'm going to hope that it stays good and that it's not some kind of arthritis or something like that, which it better not be. I'm still too young for that, I think. And It should go away probably in a couple weeks, and I'll be fine by the time you actually see this video, because this video is not going to come out until March at the earliest, and I'm taping this in February, so there you go. But any kind of soreness in your body is no joke. Make sure you, if there's some kind of serious infection or something as a result of something, make sure you go to the doctor, make sure you get checked out, because it's important for ensuring you have a long, healthy life that you get these things checked out and get treatment where possible. Of course, it sucks if you have to be on medication for the rest of your life because of something, you know, diabetes, for example. My father went through that while he was alive. He was a diabetic for years, so was my grandmother, so I'm probably screwed. I'm probably going to have to be on insulin at some point in my life as well, which I'm not looking forward to. But right now I'm still okay. So we just gained about another half a minute since the last time I looked at the ETA. That's a good situation for me. Here's a transfer line to the faster lines on the left. Those lines on the left are faster. I believe they go up to a 95-mile-per-hour speed limit. You're going to notice the junction off to the right there. I'm going to show you on the map what that is. That's where the, and by the way, there's a train coming up. Let's take a look at this train very quickly. You can see the train number 175111 we saw in the last scenario. So, back to the map for a second. We're going to be, the track that just junctioned off there, that continues over here, and it continues to the Landwarn Works Exchange sidings. There's also a siding over here, a steel siding. Those eventually merge back together and come back together here after they go through more work sidings. There's a line that comes back to the main track right there. That's what you see up there. And I'm going to make sure the train is still, that we're still following our train on the map. So there we go. As I was showing you that, I dropped to 36, so I'm going to move to a level 3 throttle to get my speed back a little quicker at this point. I don't know if it showed on the map where I was just scrolling along there, but at some point, I think it's after the exchange sidings rejoin us, at some point this pair of tracks will also peel away to the right. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll see, I'll explain more about what the tracks are doing when we get there. Coming up to 40 now, so I'm going to drop my throttle back to level 1. Our ETA is now dropping under 10:29, which is fantastic. We're getting lots of time here. No problem with that. We're on a little bit of an uphill, so I wasn't actually gaining speed on a level 2 throttle there for a moment. We're going to have a slight downhill here as well, but very, very slight. 1 in 150 it looks like right now, and it's shallowing again immediately. So we're going to be on flat ground again in a moment. We are now. And those exchange sidings should be off to the, in that direction right now. You might be able to see over to them if we're lucky. Why am I gaining speed? Let's move to idle for a moment. So the exchange sidings are somewhere over there behind those trees. I think they are anyway. Where's the... Yeah, they're over there. So behind the trees, the exchange signs are hanging out. You just can't see them. So we're going to have... You can't really see them through the trees, unfortunately. So they're over there. I'm kind of hopeful they didn't actually decorate and put too much stuff over there for these scenarios. So they're not actually going to see them, but you might see in some custom scenarios people are going to put stuff over there because people are going to go looking and see what's going on over there today. So I'm assuming that DTG did not do that. I'm not going to bother looking, as I'm tempted to look. and see if we can see over there. Nope, we still can't see over there. Those exchange sidings are way, way out of the way here, it looks like. You just can't see them. I mean, they're there. They're definitely there. We passed the first one, we're coming to the second one. The track's about to rejoin us. I think I'm seeing an indication the track's about to do just that. There it is. There it is. The siding's rejoining. There's a signal box over there and a road crossing. And now the tracks, as I advertised earlier, are peeling off to the right. You're going to notice that the track that we're on is going to go up. The track on the other side is going to go down on the right. And they're actually splitting a little bit further to prepare for that diversion, because this track on the right is going to stay on the right when we finish this diversion. The track we're on is about to take a little bit of an air ride over the other tracks. So we're going to have a little bit of an uphill here. I'm going to have to put a little throttle in to cover this uphill. So we can see that other track going to the right now is going to stay that way. And we're about to go over that bridge, and you can see it's a little bit of a foggy day. It's kind of obvious now that it's a bit of a foggy day, but you can see the tracks down below there. I'm losing speed badly, by the way, but I expected this. So you can see the tracks we're crossing right now, just like that. And as I said, the other track stays on the right. We're going to take the track on the left. So we're traveling on the left now. We're coming onto a downhill now, so I'm going to let a little speed gain. Then I'm going to take the throttle off and let the downhill continue, because we're on a 1 in 70. In fact, I'm going to take it down to an idle right now, because we are going to gain on this, I believe. We are definitely going to gain on this. We're down to an ETA of 1028 at this point. There's another train going by. I didn't bring it up. I brought it up just in time for you to pause on YouTube. So if you want to know, go see what it is. Okay, the throttle stopped at 40 and went back down, so that actually works out nicely for me. So now we're back into the up and down routine that I've been following all this time. We are now a little less than 3.5 miles from Severn Tunnel, Maine. We can still gain a little more time here before we reach the Severn Tunnel. So we are in excellent shape for our timing. You might think at this point, well, I can go ahead and be a little more lax. No, you can't. If you be a little too lax, all that time we're gaining is going to vanish on the trying to climb out of the Severn Tunnel. That's what's going to happen. So we're going to get as much time as we can. We're going to see how, I think we're going to finish with about 2 or 3 minutes early by the time we actually get to our destination. So we're going to keep that in mind. If we lax off for about a minute, we could lose too much time and too much speed to maintain the speed we need. So we're going to be a little more careful here, as I always am. It's kind of funny thinking that you can be right on time, like 15 seconds early for the Severn Tunnel Junction, but then it's impossible at that point to make the final timing on time. So it's funny that when you think of that being a possibility, but it is a possibility in this scenario. Times could have been just a little better in that regard, but to allow for time for the climb, estimation of the climb is what I'm getting at here. But it's still easy to do, so it's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. We just hit 40 again, so I'm going to drop the throttle back to a level 1 so we don't lose too much speed at a time. You can see up ahead we are entering a 70-mile-per-hour speed limit, so I'm going to go ahead and do one more little burst here, and then I'm going to try to turn the throttle on as we enter the 70. That's going to be my objective right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a burst up to 40 right now. I'll try to turn the throttle on at a point where we can speed up and continue into the stratosphere of 70 miles per hour. We may reach Severn Tunnel before we actually reach 70 miles per hour. So I'm going to turn the throttle back down now. I'm going to try to time our jump up to the next speed here to see if we can get exactly what I want here. And this is where we might start losing a little bit of time, because we're going to be 30 miles under the speed limit. So we're just crossing the 70 sign right now. As you can see, we still have green signals, so we're good as far as the signal goes. And we drop down to 38, so I'm going to go ahead and do one more increase at this point. Now seems to be a good time to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just keep notching it up. I think we're good at this point to keep notching it up. Perfect. So we have a junction over to the main track right there. We're not taking that. You can see we have a 75 coming up ahead. So we got down to 10:26 for our arrival. We're about a minute and a half away by that math, about 8/10 of a mile. You can see the actual the point that we need to cross up ahead there in orange on the HUD. Severn Tunnel, Maine. There's another train. You're going to have time to see what this one is. Bristol to Wentloog, 4B35 is waiting at the station. It is a freight train. So he's going where we came from. And I have a feeling he was probably scheduled to start moving in a couple minutes, because he is not moving yet. He is literally just sitting still right now. He's not moving. So he probably was supposed to go at some point. He probably should have been going a couple minutes earlier, so he was moving when we reached him. Either that or he's not supposed to go yet. I don't know. He's waiting for us. May I have a red signal? I didn't check. So our current arrival time at Bristol Parkway is timed to be 10:39, and we're actually gaining time on that right now, which is very convenient. See the downhill coming up. We're going to also see, I believe, Caldecott Station coming up along the top there. So if you see where you're not, it's not moving, so I don't care. I actually already passed it. Caldecott was right there. So it was way back there somewhere. If we check back there, that's where Caldecott is. We're about to enter the Severn Tunnel, so I'm going to go ahead and get back in the cab, because that's all we can do at this point. I'm moving the train to an idle setting as we go into the tunnel, and the reason is because I expect to gain speed on the downhill, so there's no need to power our way in. We're going to have to hit the train brake when we get up to 75 anyway. The brakes on this train are actually better than the passenger train, believe it or not. Three-car set, those brakes don't work, my goodness. We're going to watch again for a couple special signals in this tunnel. We're coming to the end of the downhill in a little while here, so when we come to the end of that downhill, we're going to see a single blue signal. That single blue signal indicates that we are coming to the end of the downhill segment. I believe that's about 5/10 of a mile or so away now. So we still have to contend with some downhill here for a little bit. I'm going to put a little brake application on just to make sure we don't cross too much. I'm going to see if we can manage it from there. You saw how good those brakes are. We dropped a mile pretty quickly off of our MPH. So if we need to slow down, we're going to have no problem doing so. In theory, we should have actually done a brake test as we left onto the main line, but we had to use the brakes early anyway, so it kind of worked out. There's that single blue signal I mentioned. Notice this on both sides. Apparently, you can be on both sides of the track in the Severn Tunnel, which makes no sense because it's really one way each direction. I'm going to put the train into a power setting now. There's the double, and you notice it's not set up on the other side for some reason, so I don't know why. But now that we're on that, we're going to have to put a full throttle on, and we're not going to be able to gain any speed at all. We're literally going to be fighting this hill for the rest of the journey towards the Diamond interchange that takes us to Bristol Parkway. We're going to be fighting this all the way. So while we're in the boring expanse of the tunnel, approaching a 90-mile-per-hour speed limit that really means nothing to us, we're going to be making our way, as we leave the tunnel in about this area here, we're going to be making our way towards our next station, which is at Pilning. We're going to go through some unknown tunnel in the process. So that's what's going to happen here. You see that tiny tunnel coming up ahead here as well. That may be another set of tracks joining us possibly. I'm not 100% sure at this stage. We have now emerged from the Severn Tunnel. We're going to get our green signal coming up as we clear the next tunnel. There's our 90, which means nothing. And we're going to come up very shortly on Pilning Station. Looks like we have a bridge before Pilning Station. Did I miss something? No, Pilning is right there. Okay, I actually here I was waiting to live a screenshot, and I actually called it a little early. So there we go. Pilning is coming up about now, I believe. So you just got to see the train that we're hauling today, a bunch of container flats. Or, well, more containers, I guess. Was it container flats? Is that what they're called? Yeah, container flats is what they're called. Probably because the top and sides of the container are flat like a rectangle. That could be why. Anyway, moving along. That was Pilning. We're going to continue on to Patchway at this point. We're going to have the Patchway new tunnel coming up at some point right before Patchway, and then we're going to get ready to detour over to, or not really detour, it's our path, to Bristol Parkway rather than Bristol Temple Meads. Now, since we have not been to Bristol Temple Meads yet, I want to show you what the area looks like. We're going to be taking the Diamond Interchange here after Patchway. That's Patchway. So we're going to take the Diamond here. Notice there's a path over here that goes towards Avonmouth as well. So the Bristol to Avonmouth route is a thing. A train is passing us, number 70010. And then Bristol Temple Meads itself is actually down this direction. So you notice that we're at Filton Abbey here. Further down we have Bristol Temple Meads. So Bristol to Avonmouth is a route that exists from just trains. You can actually take the similar path up here and then take the turn and head towards Avonmouth this way. I believe you can also go to Avonmouth in this direction as well, but it looks like it goes to Montpellier here. Down here, of course, goes towards Portsmouth. And there's Taunton and those there as well. So it goes to Exeter. Not Portsmouth, but Exeter. Better way to put it. So that gives you a little bit of the lay of the land as to what the stations are on that part of the route. And here is the, I'm going to just bring up the map to show you the name of the tunnel again, but it should be the new tunnel. Yeah, Patchway New Tunnel. There you go. You notice they had two different leveled entrances there, which I find really interesting. They went to a little bit of a design element for this tunnel, it looks like. If you're going to be boring in the dark for a while, you might as well have a nice look going into it so you don't feel so bad about it, right? No, it's not how it works? Okay. You mean it's an engineering thing? Okay. Whatever. So it looks like a junction just changed ahead of us here, which I find very interesting. Because I saw a speed limit up ahead, and that speed limit has disappeared. Either that or I've gotten a little too slow. But I think the zoom did not change, so I believe it was the speed limit actually disappearing. We are going to be dropping to a 60 mile per hour speed limit. We don't really care because we can't get there anyway. Remember how I said we were going to lose time? We've now lost a whole minute off of our ETA. We have to be there at 10:45. We have lots of time to still get there. We're only 2.5 miles away, so we are going to be on time. We're going to actually be early. But we're gonna just go ahead and watch the signals to confirm that we are going to go where we want to go. And I'm going to slow down a little early coming into the siding because I know that we're going to be good for time. So I'm going to be slowing down at the entrance to the siding. And some of these bridges are just designer style bridges. You can't really see anything in the fog, but they're there. You want to get a good rail fan shot? Hop on top of a bridge and get your camera out. We're reaching a flat section, so we're going to gain a little bit of our speed back in this area. We are now entering the 60 that I advertised earlier, so the 60 is now here. Maybe the zoom did change, and maybe that's why the speed limit disappeared. That might have been the speed limit I saw. Because I have not seen a junction to follow here. Unless I missed it. This is Patchway. That means the turn to Bristol Parkway is not far off. And indeed, we are 1.5 miles away from Bristol Parkway stop. Now, the stop is after Bristol Parkway station. We're going to go a little past the station here. So that's what we're going to be doing there. And we can expect that. So we're now in our sort of diamond interchange here. This may be a yellow signal up ahead. Or maybe the one after it, I'm not sure. It would be a double yellow if it is yellow. Yep, it's a double yellow signal coming up. I can see our endpoint up ahead. There we go. So I'm going to take the throttle off now. We're going to prepare to slow down. Actually, I'm going to slow down a little bit right now, just so I don't come in too hot. Because we got 7 minutes to make the stop. We're good. We're golden. And there's the main line coming from Avonmouth area. Also Severn Beach is over there. Used to have a branch to Pilning that is no longer there. I don't know why they lifted that small portion of track, but they did. They could have left that track in just unused and potentially put it back into use as part of a circle service, as that may be a bit of a tourist area now. I'm not 100% sure. Oops. But maybe the people in that area were like, alright, we pay lots of money for these houses. We don't want trains in this area. So maybe they're the ones that demanded the trains go away. You notice there's a couple trains sitting there. 1L38 is showing up ahead. You can pause, see what the other one was. So 1L38 is up ahead here. We're going to take note of that one right now because there's something related to that one. And you can see our stop, Bristol Parkway up a passenger loop. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more brakes on to slow our train down. So there's the train in question that I'm going to make note of right now. Notice it's not going anywhere right now. And there's a train next to it that's going in the other direction. Let's take the brakes off for a minute so we can just ease into our stop. I'll take the HUD off at this point. And at this point, we're just cruising in. We're not going to be able to get the whole train in. We're going to have a, I think, maybe 2 cars sticking out, I'm guessing here. But we're going to get as much of the train into this section as we can. And if I get too slow coming in, I will go ahead and bump up the speed just a wee bit. There's our warning for the red signal. Definitely a red signal warning, 1/10 of a mile out. Let's just go ahead and put a tiny bit of speed on here. Not that it matters, we're going to stop anyway, obviously, but... Oh, that didn't do much. We just went right back down where we were. Good to know. So we're 800ths of a mile from the signal. 800ths, 700ths. 600ths. Yep, we're good for our stop. Five cars are still sticking out with 500ths to go. 400ths. I just put a little more brakes on to make sure we're good. And I can tell now we're going to have at least 1 car sticking out. So we're just going to get as far in as we can. And at about 100th, I'm going to put the full brakes on. Right about here. And let's take a look at our train as we finish the scenario. Make it up to 0? No, I'm not. Let's take a look at our train. So you can see the train that we're going to be waiting for in the distance. I brought up the label earlier and you saw the 1L38 over there. Keep an eye on that because you're going to find that the ending of the scenario references that train. Meanwhile, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also donate, support my work on Patreon, join the Discord server. Our signalman says that 1L38, the train I just told you about, is just departing from Bristol Parkway Platform 3, so you'll be held here until the signal clears. Just a convenient way for us to have to wait here at the end of the route, because it is the end of the route for us. We don't have anything beyond this point. So we're not going to see anything further to Southampton. This train will just continue into a portal without us. So, yeah, I'll see you next time for the next scenario on South Wales Coastal. That is a Class 175. This is a clear 1,000-point scenario, as you can see. Nothing wrong with it. So I'm not going to bother going to the scoring screen here. But I'll see you next time for the Class 175 scenario, Level 3 scenario. You definitely want to come back for that one. I'll see you for that. I'm Cyclone. See you next time. Bye-bye.